Kevin Owens and Randy Orton kind of had a match at Crown Jewel, but let's break it down and talk about it just a little bit more. Kevin Owens has recently gone on somewhat of a rampage and has attacked Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton for their help with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. Now, I can somewhat understand where Kevin is coming from. He does feel betrayed because he was fighting the Bloodline for years, and to see the two people he considered his best friends to go and help them in their time of need struck a nerve with him, and he just didn't like it. It really, really bothered him. And I can kind of understand that, and I can kind of get behind that. And if it leads to a Kevin Owens like he was on the independent scene, by all means, Kevin, be mad. You have every right to be as angry as possible. If you haven't seen Kevin Owens from the indie scene, take a quick look at this video from Supervillain Deathmatch on Instagram. I'll have their account linked down below, so make sure to go check them out. Give them a follow. Such a fun account if you love wrestling, especially indie wrestling and death matches. It's super fun. I love seeing their post every day. But this video here is evidence that Kevin Owens can kill. And if this is the Kevin Owens that we are getting back, I have no problems with him doing anything that he wants. If he's mad, I'm mad. Simple as that. Because if this is the Kevin Owens we're getting, by God, be mad, Kevin. Now, Randy is somewhat of a bystander that got injured in this. He necessarily didn't help the Bloodline, but he did defend Cody, who did. And Randy and Kevin have been increasingly close since WrestleMania, even to go so far as having a collaborative merch and doing multiple tag team appearances together. I am disappointed that we never got a tag team title run out of this, but there's always hope for the future. Now, there's a lot of history at play in this match, especially with Randy and Cody, as Cody and Randy go way back, starting with some of Cody's first couple of years and Randy being somewhat of an established veteran at that point while still being very young. And I'm sure throughout the years and Cody jumping places that they have kept in touch and been friends throughout the entire time. As far as Kevin, we know that Cody and Kevin also go pretty far back. We don't see as much of them interact because their time together has been somewhat staggered between Kevin being on the indies and Cody being in WWE and vice versa. But we do know that Kevin and Cody were very close. They were good friends and they had each other's back at any moment. Now, there's been a lot leading up to this match. Not a ton of promos, but there's been segments with Triple H and Randy Orton. There's been Kevin Owens recording in his own personal vehicle and telling everyone how he feels. Just a lot going on with this whole situation. And it made for a super fun couple of minutes. It wasn't very long, and it didn't really have to be. This is one of those things that I think modern WWE has been missing from the older days. The older days, you could have something kind of like this to give a little break in the action and just pop the crowd a little bit just to make sure they're still in it. Just have a little short, action-packed, very fun match. Doesn't have to be super long, but just to get the crowd riled up for the final events coming. And they follow this match up with two of my favorite matches of the year. And so they did a very good job of making sure everyone was awake and ready to go for the next two. Like I said, the match was very short. It actually never got started. If you're watching these two catch up with what happened, they never started the match. Randy Orton would come out and do his entrance, and when he does Kevin Owens hit him with a chair. That's how we started the match. Referee never rung the bell. They just started attacking each other. Quickly got out of the ring and then got back in the ring. And Kevin Owens ended up stunning the ref that was there for the original match, which caused a lot of people to come from backstage, including Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce, as well as Jamie Noble and a couple of the producers. And Adam Pearce would end up eating an RKO. It was just chaos. It was insane. They would push their way through the crowd and find some tables. Kevin would hit Randy with some sort of metal box that he found and lay him out on the tables. The stadium had somewhat of a riser that led to more seats in the stadium, and Kevin Owens climbed up the stairs and got on the railing and did a flying elbow from the top of the railing down onto Randy. It was insanity. Now, there was no official winner of this match, and of course, because the match never started, Kevin Owens was the only one to walk out of the arena. So you kind of have to give the win to Kevin. Now, I gave this a 93 out of 100, which is a 4.63 stars. I was conflicted whether I would rate this or not because it wasn't technically a match and more of a segment, but I enjoyed it so much that I thought I should rate it anyways. Usually I wouldn't rate things like this because there was no bell, there's no winner. How could I rate something that wasn't actually anything? But it was so much fun that why not rate it? It was great. It was like a flashback to an older WWE pay-per-view, and who am I to complain about that? Now for my highs, extremely destructive. If you can't tell by now, I love a destructive match. I loved ECW. I never got to watch it as a kid growing up because obviously it was a little violent and I was in kindergarten when they closed. But I love watching ECW now. It's so much fun. The breaking the tables, the chair shots, all of it. Anytime a table gets brought out, I pop, regardless of who it is or what the circumstance is. As far as my low is the no start and no winner. I was actually really excited about this and really hoped we would get some sort of series out of it, like maybe a best of 3 or just something as far as something to push on weekly TV or to the next event. And we kind of get that, but at the same time, I was disappointed it didn't start then. Now, I know both of them are some of the best in the world and should have no problem putting on even better matches later, but I was a little disappointed there was no clear-cut winner on this one. But that's just about everything you need to know for the Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton match at Crown Jewel. Tomorrow, we'll be covering my second favorite match of the night, which will be Carmelo versus Andrade versus LA Knight for the U.S. Championship. So I'll see you in the next one. Peace.